Hello and welcome back to another Bad Movie Reviews review hosted by your two favourite Aussie drama kids, you could say.
Jeez,
because not that we act, but you're the most dramatic person I know. And
yeah, that's true.
we are reviewing a film that's kind of come out of nowhere.
Definitely
It came
for me.
out of a few film festivals and has played here now, and we were lucky enough to catch an early screening at our local cinema. But it is none other than Theatre Camp. Now, for anyone who probably doesn't know, it's basically about exactly that, a camp full of theatre kids in an upstate New York location, and they pretty much have to band together to try and keep the camp afloat as they're going through financial issues, basically. So best way I could describe it, it is directed by Molly Gordon and Nick Lieberman, which is also, Molly Gordon also stars in it, who plays Rebecca. But it's based on a short that they filmed in 2020. But other than that, stars Ben Platt, who for most theatre kids, they would really know him. He is also in Pitch Perfect and the other two, which I've watched, but he also played and kind of wrote, was in Dear Evan Hansen, which is a very popular Broadway show. I was lucky enough to see the show when I was in New York, but it didn't have him in it. It had the main actor from No Hard Feelings, Andrew Feldman.
Oh, that's not a bad thing.
No. But great cast. Also Jimmy Tatro, which we know and love. If anyone's seen American Vandal on Netflix, fantastic show. And Ayo Edebiri as well, who is kind of an up-and-comer. She's in a few films, but she also played April O'Neil in TMNT, which we actually reviewed this week.
Yep.
Voice cast, but she's also in the amazing show The Bear, which everyone should go watch on Disney+. But what did you think about the film? I'm eager to know what you think before I get into it.
Oh, look, I don't know what to fast forward to, but fast forward to the point of where he talks. I'll see if I can leave him put a bookmark in because he'll probably articulate it a little bit better. But this film was definitely not directed at me or people like me. I think it's you really got to embrace a kind of like theatre artistic background and or be open to art. I think I'm quite closed off to it, so that did make this film kind of sometimes feel a little bit strange and a little bit odd, or it felt like it was out of place. I felt like I didn't probably understand to the point of where I could like relate to this film. But despite that, it was beautifully written and directed and acted, I thought. But I know it's a film that's not aimed at me when the person I relate to the most is probably Troy or Jimmy. Per se in this film, because normally the characters like that do my absolute head in if you see any of our other reviews. But he's the one I kind of like loved the most and probably soaked up into because I felt like I don't know, it was a little bit more on the relatable side, I think. But look, it was really well written and a nice original script, of course, and obviously being the extended version of the short. Definitely a lot of love put into this film. And definitely, yeah, as I said, a lot of that originality and they're great, weird stories that were told. And I just thought that was kind of beautiful, I guess. Some of the comedic factors probably went straight over the top of my head because I don't understand much, especially when it comes to either pop culture things or generally anything a little bit more on the artistic side.
Autistic, you mean? No.
Yeah, look, the film wasn't directed at me, so I do think Ben needs to probably explain this a little bit more. I think it was an enjoyable film. It had a lot of strengths when it comes to what you look for in a film, and that is original writing, and that is like well acted. It's very unique. It has a nice original. I wasn't going to say like score per se or whatever you call that. Their own soundtrack or whatever they build. It's got its own original music design. Which I think like props to this. And I actually liked the way it was like shot, like behind the camera. Some of the scenes seemed like it was kind of like a documentary at times. It felt like you were like experiencing it through someone else's camera, but then the other times you really got to kind of delve into the deep side of this theatre, which probably worked quite well for it, that it was really shot like a theatre, like for itself. But yeah, look, I will throw it over to you because I don't know where to go from here. I I enjoyed the film overall, but I think it kind of missed the ballpark for myself. So whatever the timestamp is, chuck that in, and we'll go over to Ben. I'd love to hear your thoughts because you were having a ball of a time. So
I don't think I've laughed more in a theatre for quite some time.
I didn't laugh.
You did. I saw you laugh.
Sorry, I laughed at Troy. If you
you did funny. Laugh. I did see you laugh. Sorry, don't lie. No, I don't think I've had. I can't really con this, to be honest. Like, I think it has done everything it intended to do and better. It is. I know you touched on the fact that it was made like a documentary. I think that's kind of the whole point. It's kind of a mockumentary. The fact that they've got the subtitles and it is very much filmed like a documentary. A lot of it's handy cam and, I mean, they pretty much play on the whole fact it's the heart and it really, But no, I thought it is possibly one of the tightest scripts of the year for me. The way it's about an hour and a half, but the dialogue for each character, the way it's performed, the directing, everything is genuinely not like it's not, Steven Spielberg or Denis Villeneuve or that kind of level of incredible directing, but it is the way the film is supposed to be. It is just everything works well for it. I don't know if I've actually said this doing a review, but I'm very much in the mindset that there are certain films that are probably the hardest to make, and they are, well, not so much the hardest to make, but hardest to make well, and that is horror.
Yep.
And musicals. And the reason why I say musicals is because not only do you have to, I guess, write a coherent story, a good story of that, have people enjoy it, but you obviously got to weave in music that'll actually connect into the film and connect seamlessly and actually have the songs be good. And this film did that brilliantly. Like, I enjoyed whether it be the original songs that they performed, I enjoyed every aspect of that. I thought it was hilarious, and to even write comedic songs, man, I got to give Ben Platt props there. I think it said in the credits there that he was part of the original songwriting team, but man, I thought everyone in this film was genuinely really, really good, and I don't think it's the best film of the year, but like, I just had a great time. I laughed a lot. I thought it was right up I'm not necessarily a theatre kid by any means. I did do drama in school, but I'm not like this. But the way the film sets it up, it is a very over-the-top, eccentric showing. And I think that's, funnily enough, what you were saying, though, like Jimmy, in my personal opinion, I actually think they try and make Jimmy the most relatable character in the film.
Yeah, 100%.
Because there's no... Like, they are really making the theatre kids over the top, and everyone in the theatre, like, it is supposed to be a very over the top, egocentric, like, piss take in a way on these people. And I think they try and make Jimmy, but I really got to give the film props here as well, because not only did it really work for me, but it not necessarily emotional, but it just hit all the story beats, and I thought it was actually a really nice ending, like in the way it ended and the way it all came together. Biggest props as well, the kids, man, like they can sing and they can act in the film. They are all genuinely unbelievable in the movie. But no, like, I actually can't really give this, as I said, I'm not going to say it's the best film I've seen ever or in the year, but I would happily watch this again. I would happily recommend it to multiple people I know would eat this film up and absolutely love it. But I just had a really good time. Like, that's
fair.
It's one of I'm very happy I saw it in a cinema, even though a comedy you need to see, in my opinion, in a packed theater. Take away the fact that they were clapping and like cackling quite audibly loud, which
they were a real audience for a real play, weren't they? The people we were with.
Yeah.
Very
it was
passionate,
kind of which I guess kind of plays into the film, I guess, but it was a lot. And when you watch, TMNT and films over the past couple of weeks where it's very much, you sit there for 3 hours in silence, and then you come to this film, which is an hour and 30 minutes, and you have people clapping during the film, which I kind of got around a little bit, but it's at the same time, it did take away a certain aspect of it, because there were parts where they were clapping and there was genuine dialogue that I couldn't understand or couldn't hear because it was so loud. But props to the film because that means they have evoked emotion. People were laughing. People were clapping. It got everything.
I felt so out of place in this film.
Do you mean? I think you mean in the audience.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
No.
Me including being part of this film, of course. Yeah.
But no, I recommend even if you don't have any, I guess, relation to any theatre kids or any relation to theatre, I still think there is a lot of things in this film that you can enjoy. And I do actually genuinely believe, apart from up there with Barbie, it's probably one of the funniest films I've seen this year, just in terms, this isn't meant in any mean way, but you're probably an outlier in the fact that like 90% of people would understand most pop culture references, whereas you don't.
I'm well aware.
So I think majority of people will get a lot out of this film. And even saying that, from the sounds of Daniel's thoughts, he still did enjoy it.
Yeah, 100%.
And so I really recommend people to see this because I don't think it's not a huge film that's going to get a massive amount of money. It's just a really good time. And I think it's definitely a film that's in the cinemas that is worthwhile seeing.
I truly believe if you're a film lover, which I'm starting to really move towards, if you watch like any of our early videos, for me it was like movie good, really enjoyed this, would watch again on to Ben. If you're a film lover, this has a lot to it and a lot of love into it. Everything from behind the camera to in front of it is great. It is quite enjoyable, and that's why I can't. Even though it was a film that was maybe for myself,
difficult for you to relate
it
to,
was hard for me to definitely even fit myself into. There was so many strengths. If you enjoy film in general, definitely worth a watch.
The biggest thing I can say is, for me, it actually reminded me, I don't know if you've actually seen it, but this is Spinal Tap.
I haven't. No.
It's a
Just
mock,
know the band.
It's a mock. Well, it's not a band. It's a mockumentary about like a metal band, but it's like that's the biggest thing. It's made like a documentary. It kind of takes the piss out of theatre kids, takes the piss out of modern society in the way.
100%.
It's just like there wasn't one, con here. I can't sit here and say something would elevate it more. It's just like, I just had a good time. Definitely worth seeing.
Without doubt.
Yeah. But if you have seen it, because I think it is showing in certain states in America, and I know it's out in Australia in a couple of weeks, but if you have seen it, please let us know what you think. I'm intrigued into knowing that.
Would love your thoughts.
But other than that, subscribe, comment below, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, guys.